Hey guys, Curtis Alexander. Let me walk you through a common scenario. You've gone to the doctor, you've got your vitamin D levels measured, and they've come back low. Now, the first thing that's going to happen, they're going to put you on a vitamin D supplement. But unfortunately, that in a lot of cases tends to not work or work in the short term. What I mean by that is people will come to me and they'll be like, I'm on a vitamin D supplement. My levels went up for a bit and then they started to decrease. Other people say, hey, I got put on a supplement and my vitamin D levels never really went anywhere. And I can't figure out what's going on. And what's going on is you are not addressing the root causes of what caused your vitamin D levels to be low in the first place. So you can throw a ton of supplements at it, but it may not budge. So what's going on? Well, there's five big things that I find in people that when they address this, the need for a supplement goes out the window, even though I don't think supplementing is the way to go in the first place, but I've made other videos about that. So I'm going to talk about five of these big ones. This PTH at the end is a huge one. That's why I left it for last. So where should you start? Excuse me. Number one, you want to look at your thyroid function. Pardon me. So you want to look at your thyroid function. Why is that? Well, what a lot of people don't realize, the thyroid and your vitamin D status have kind of an interplay. When one is not up to par, the other one will most likely not be up to par. But I've had people come to me and say, well, I got my TSH, my thyroid stimulating hormone measure. My doctor said it was fine. You need much more than a TSH. First of all, if you're going to rely on labs, you have to get a full Monty, meaning reverse T3, free T3, T4 levels, thyroglobulin levels. Are you at risk for an autoimmune thyroid condition like Hashimoto's? So there's other things, but for me, what I did and what I find useful for most people and really inexpensive, measure your morning body temperatures. Okay. You're in bed, you've just woken up, but you're not out of bed yet. Grab a thermometer and just get your body temperature. If it's below 98 in the morning, chances are you could have low thyroid. Okay. When I started, my body temperatures were down like 96.5. I was freezing all the time. Now it's consistently over 98. So you can recover from that and you can do it naturally, and your vitamin D levels will often recover along with that. So that's number one. The second thing I would look at is your magnesium. Okay. Why magnesium? I've mentioned before, magnesium, it's involved in literally hundreds of reactions in your body, including converting cholesterol to vitamin D. Okay. If you don't have enough magnesium, you can throw stored vitamin D at it till the cows come home, but your body can't convert it because you're low on magnesium. Magnesium is one of the few supplements I personally take, not every day, but you want to make sure you're getting enough. Magnesium is really important. The next thing that you need to take into consideration is, do you have inflammation going on? Now, inflammation, huge topic. There can be a lot of causes to inflammation. In a lot of cases, it can be dietary. For example, a more specific one would be if you're doing an extreme diet and your iron and your copper and your zinc, which all have a relationship with each other, if those get out of whack, you can see inflammation. What I would do is I include this in my free checklist. Okay. I talk about a lot of ways to address inflammation without using drugs, without using supplements. Okay. I don't want to go into the weeds here. So make sure there's a link in the description. Go grab that. People have found that very helpful, but you have to get inflammation under control. Most of the times it's diet and it's lifestyle. Okay. Next thing is your organ function. What a lot of people don't realize, L is liver, K, kidneys. Both those organs take stored vitamin D, and that's where a lot of your conversion to the active vitamin D takes place. Well, if you have poor liver function, you're going to have a tough time doing that. And we're talking much more than alcohol use. Okay. What a lot of people don't realize, again, your liver plays a very critical role with thyroid function. So if you have poor thyroid, you probably have poor liver function. Okay. A number of things you can do. Again, check out my free checklist. I talk about some of the things you can do in there, but your liver and kidney function have to be on point or you're likely not going to get much benefit, if any, from taking supplements. And the last one is PTH. Okay. Now, PTH is parathyroid hormone. Why is this important? Because again, vitamin D doesn't just work on its own. Okay. You have to have other minerals and substrates that have an interplay there. So your parathyroid hormone basically is a calcium and phosphate regulator. So I have people in it. I experienced this personally. Okay. I was on carnivore. I was consuming really high amounts of phosphate because muscle meat has a lot of phosphate, not a lot of calcium because I was down on dairy at that time, down on other calcium sources. And so you can see when your body recognizes that, wow, Curtis is getting a ton of phosphate, but very little calcium. Parathyroid hormone kicks in and begins to pull calcium from a great storage spot, which is your bones. Okay, so it'll pull it out of that bone area. Your bones become soft, for lack of a better term, but it can be deposited now in other soft tissues. When I went carnivore, I had a terrible time with plaque on my teeth. That was calcium deposits showing up on my teeth. You can also see it in arteries. So that's what we don't want to have happen. That doesn't make muscle meats bad. That doesn't make phosphate bad, but you want a balance. So if you're not getting that kind of balance that you need, that is going to affect your vitamin D levels because calcium and vitamin D have this interplay. Okay. So these are 5 big ones, guys. Even if, and here's what I find, if you can get these on point, your vitamin D status is a lot of the times going to correct itself, assuming that you're getting sensible sun exposure, assuming that you're eating the right way. But when you get these on point, you're most likely not going to need a vitamin D supplement. And by the way, I wouldn't take an oral vitamin D supplement. I live in an extreme northern climate, very little sun during the winter. So during that time, I use a vitamin D lamp. I have better results. I think it's less risky. Um, and I'll include a link. There's a link in the description to the lamp that I use. Feel free to check it out. That's just what I do. There's other reasons why I don't like vitamin D supplements, and I've made videos about those, so feel free to check those out. Um, I hope this was helpful, guys. Again, if your vitamin D is low, there's a reason for it. You have to address those. When you do that, things oftentimes take care of themselves.